2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. And a peek now at the offense for Tampa Bay.
And Deshaun Jackson is the guy that your eyes naturally gravitate towards because he's a big play waiting to happen. In his career, usually averages about 20 yards a catch. Last season in 2017, closer to 13 yards per catch. Look for him to be recommitted to getting back downfield and catching the long ball.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. Now a look at the defensive starters here for the Steelers. They were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, do you now decide that I can't throw the ball against this team and try and run it like crazy? Or do you challenge them? This is going to be fun.
They go play action. Fitzpatrick. He's got Evans. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's his first catch, and it'll be good for 15 and a first down.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Now a play fake here on first down. Jackson's got it over the middle. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. He got 29 yards that time.
Okay, what can't Deshaun Jackson do? All right, we know about the catches. We just saw another one there. Also gets involved in the return game. And he can break big plays like that. We've seen him do it throughout his NFL career.
We have. What are you thinking of anything in particular?
I'm still remembering a certain Giants punter not following orders, and Deshaun Jackson made that big-time return all the way back for a game winner in that one. I still remember seeing the looks of disbelief on the Giants sideline.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. On second down, Fitzpatrick again. His throw caught at about the 5. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that would be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. They've got it first and goal at the 6. They'll try to pound it in with Lacey. Well, look there at what Lacey was able to do a week ago. 2 trips to the end zone and well past 100 yards.
And going back and watching the film, we saw every kind of run from him, didn't we? We saw some power. We saw finesse. We saw speed. And what I love the most, he finished each and every run. Well, they've certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play.
Pressure comes and the Steelers take him down. Daniel McCullers breaking through to get him for a loss of 7. Getting into the act on the opening drive here with a sack. And remember, they had 5 last week.
And they saw that on film, and that meant that they had to get together. Offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, offensive line coach, receivers coach, and say, how do we beat this pressure? Because everyone has to win against the defense and get the ball out of the hands of the quarterback very quickly.
3rd and long, Fitzpatrick following the sack. What can he and the gang come up with? From the shotgun, it's Fitzpatrick. Hard throw, incomplete.
Chances are good he's going to be a very busy guy. 2 catches already in this opening drive, and they were looking his way for a 3rd.
I think they put this defense on notice that could be a really, really frequent combination. And Catanzaro's kick is right through, and the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. So the first points of the night belong to our home team as they're able to take the opening kickoff and at least get 3 points out of it.
Yeah, and that helps the crowd, right? It helps people feel good about why they're there watching this game. They move the ball well on their opening drive.
To return, it's Cam Sutton. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. They'll be led out by a man who's becoming an elder statesman among quarterbacks in the league, drafted back in 2004. It's Ben Roethlisberger.
And he's looking good now. I mean, 5 touchdown passes in the last game. Okay, he threw a couple of interceptions. That's a little bit of a concern. But I remember a basketball coach telling me one time, he had a guy who averaged about 40 points a game. And he said the press got all over him because he didn't play much defense. He said he's averaging over 40 a game. The guy against him's not scoring that. We still have the advantage.
Yeah, and they got the win last week in that effort.
Even better. It's always best to clean up things after a win than after a loss.
The numbers for Bell on the ground in the game last week. 19 carries, 74 yards.
And that explosive run right there reminds me that last week ran the ball really well, so they're continuing to do what they did in the previous game, run the ball and run it successfully. Expect that to continue throughout this one.
Bell a first down and then some. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down. Well, Charles, Le'Veon Bell, 26 going on 27, and the shelf life of these NFL running backs seems to be getting shorter and shorter. How long can he go at this torrid pace?
Usually we say 30 is kind of the line of demarcation for a running back. But Le'Veon Bell played all 16 games in 2017, takes great care of himself off the field. I think he's got a chance to break through that 30-year-old mark, and in a big way.
Now after the run by Bell, here's another 1st and 10. Now a first down carry by Bell. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Roethlisberger with a give to Bell. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
Well, you think 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
A first opportunity for the Steelers in the red zone. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17. Now Roethlisberger going to hand to Bell. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. And a peek now at the offense for Pittsburgh.
A big reason this team led the league in offense, their offensive line. Monster strength. 3 Pro Bowlers last year in Alejandro Villanueva, David DeCastro, and Marquise Pouncey. Kept their quarterbacks upright to throw it downfield and carved a lot of holes for their runners.
To throw here, Roethlisberger. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to a sack back at the 16-yard line. Mitch Unrein able to drop it for a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Really talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, That's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. And Boswell's kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So matching field goals on our opening 2 drives.
Yeah, it feels like 2 boxers feeling each other out here in the early going of the game, right? Exchanging some jabs, but none of the heavy stuff just yet.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A gain of 6 there on first.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Yeah, he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A good pickup there at 22.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
Fitzpatrick now on second down. Bringing it in, Jackson left side. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They get 17 down to the 17, and it's a first down. And before they can get settled in here, time expires. The first quarter of action. It's a tight game here early. We'll return to Tampa after this message. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. They'll hand it off. Lacey. And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Starting to rack up the yardage here in this first half. 5 catches now and a first down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. They'll run it with Lacey. And no signal yet. I don't think he got in. He didn't. They'll mark him at the 1. No gain on the play, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. Now a second down throw for Fitzpatrick. And he's going to go down. This will count as a sack, a very short sack, taken down at the 2. Daniel McCullers in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight. 3rd and goal for Fitzpatrick. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of. Otherwise, he was going to get sacked.
And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals. It's 6-3. So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. We got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them. Both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
And we put our focus now on Le'Veon Bell. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with the run so far. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Ready? Black 80.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 13 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
One of the feature points of the in route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. He got 29 yards that time. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son. And then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do. He actually has wide receivers' eyes when he's throwing the ball.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. And oh, look at that, a diving catch. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
When you're a player of his stature, you don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You
circle the Pro Bowl?
Without a doubt. That's a game that you just figure you're going to be in each and every year. And it's because of catches like that. That's why he goes.
They go play action here on first down. This is Bell on the dump off. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard to go for the first.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. That'll put him at an even 50 receiving yards now in this first half. And it's a first down. It's been all passing all the time on this drive. 5 for 5, and now 1st and goal.
Feels like a case of until they stop us, we might as well keep running the offense that we like to run. Don't change up and do something different just because you think you need to.
Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. And incomplete, he dropped it in the end zone.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that play.
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff him for a loss. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. And Boswell's kick is good. And that will tie things up at 6-6. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Calling a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
Second down, Fitzpatrick. And Brake has it over the middle. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
He'll try and run for it. Here's Lacey. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They stay on the ground on first down with Lacey. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
On second down, Lacey. Oh, strong running by Lacey. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now a first down carry. It's Lacey. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
They'll try to throw here. Fitzpatrick. A dump off to Sims. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage. And that is a tough one to cover, the angle route. Because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot, and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
And a first carry here for Charles Sims. And he'll be stopped after a gain of only a couple down to the 15-yard line. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. To throw on second down, Fitzpatrick. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And they take the lead here as it's now 9-6. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
Now Roethlisberger on first down. And he connects with Vance McDonald. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one goes for 24 yards. On first and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
It's never a bad idea to try and get it to Antonio Brown, but there must be a little bit of the Madden curse going on for our cover athlete here. Hasn't been able to get that elite separation that we're used to seeing from him.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. And now whistles here and a flag down. Looked like someone got going a little early.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5. So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15. Now Roethlisberger to throw. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his big tight end there, Jesse James. And that'll make it third down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Back-to-back nice gains, that one for 14 yards and another first.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
They'll try and run it in with Bell. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. 2nd and goal, the lone man in the backfield, Le'Veon Bell. Now Roethlisberger. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Snags it for the pick. And he'll go down inside the 15 at his own 13-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been effective so far over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
So we get a traffic there. That's complete. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. This quarterback now 12 of 17 through the air as he leads his guys up on first down. Fitzpatrick now to throw on first down. That's complete. Middle of the field to Humphreys. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Working out of the gun, Fitzpatrick. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Evans. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
This quarterback now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10. A first down throw for Fitzpatrick. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering where it's going to go. Good touchdown, Tampa Bay! A great play there as the first half is winding down, and the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game? Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover it? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. The clock showing just 16 seconds till the half as they line up 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. On 2nd down, it's Bell. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And the Steelers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. The play fake. Here's Roethlisberger. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground with Lacey. And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. So we've hit halftime here in Tampa with the Bucs out in front. As we send you a stone's throw away across I-4 to Orlando. There standing by is Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin out in the Windy City of Chicago. And those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And a good effort on the return there gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Getting set to go again, Ben Roethlisberger marches onto the field. And he's had some time to chew on that interception he threw on his last drive back in the first half.
Well, normally we say, well, get him right back out on the field and play again, right? But as you mentioned, had the halftime, had to stew about it a little bit. Maybe he'll have a chance to relax a little and kind of laugh and chuckle and let it go.
He'll hope to respond positively here to start. Le'Veon Bell, kiss him goodbye. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Steelers have now made this a one-score game. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. On 1st and 10, Fitzpatrick. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. And he's brought down, but not before a really nice stiff arm to create a little space.
That coach is always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Play fake. It's Fitzpatrick. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now a play fake here on first down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Sean Davis with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Well, they may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A give to Bell. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
I would think as a play call, you want to look for some quick hitters to your tight end. Any type of a route to replace where that linebacker was. Because when you saw the speed with which he reacted and stuffed that play, maybe use that speed against him in the future.
On second down, here's Roethlisberger. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become...
And Big Ben intercepted a third time. Picked off by Keith Tandy. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
He's up to 70 yards receiving now as that last catch gets him a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver. And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
They run it again with Lacy. A big run there, 29 yards and a first.
I know that play went to the left side, and that's what it was designed to do, an outside handoff there. But how about the whole offensive line being involved? Seal the left side where the play was going, what they call play side. But how about on the back side? Just taking care of business to make sure no one can get there and disrupt it.
Is the biggest key the left tackle?
Without a doubt. Control that edge. Get out there. You want that left tackle. If you bring your tight end over there, either way, control the edge of the line of scrimmage, you got a chance to rumble. That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. A nice pickup of 6 there to get him closer to the end zone, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. Now Fitzpatrick. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. The former Buckeye, Cameron Hayward. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open. Left him nowhere to go with the football. Had to absorb the sack.
So out comes the field goal team once more. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Sutton now to return. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
They'll start the drive with a carry by Bell. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. It was Jason Pierre-Paul who was able to get him down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Again, it's Bell. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
But that certainly felt like an example of the defense just saying, okay, we've had enough. We've gotten mashed all night long. About time we got a good play in. But flip it over to the offensive side. They've got to be really upset that they allowed a play like that to happen. They were pitching such a great game, they want to keep it going. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
That's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. They begin the drive with Lacey. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. It's big Vince Williams who made the tackle.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Fitzpatrick now on 2nd down. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Off the play fake here, Fitzpatrick. Sliding out of the pocket. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Daniel McCullers in there to get him again. The 3rd time he sacked him here tonight.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle. And frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play action fake.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. The busy night continues for Lacey. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Bud Dupree, a former first-round pick, in on the stop.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
3rd and long for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Over the middle to Evans. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And that's complete to Jesse James. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Tampa. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And the passing game, I mean, look at the numbers. It's fallen off. When a team is struggling, sometimes you look at the quarterback. When the quarterback starts to struggle, who goes over and picks him up?
Yeah, that's always a big one, isn't it? Usually, There's a quarterback whisperer somewhere. And what I mean by that is, whether it's an assistant coach, whether it's one of his best friends on the team, someone that can get in his ear, get with him and say, all right, well, man, what do you need? What's going on here? So he's one person he can lean on. He's going to have to lean on that guy right now.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Play action now. Fitzpatrick. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time, 1-play interceptions. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. 2nd and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
What would you have said to me if I told you in pregame that Big Ben and Antonio Brown wouldn't have hooked up until the 2nd half?
I would say that they'd be losing, and they are.
Yeah, they are, and they've got to find a way now to continue to connect and try and get their team back in this game.
Roethlisberger now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Looking left sideline, incomplete. Brent Grimes, the former Pro Bowler, there on the coverage.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. Over the middle here to Brown. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Roethlisberger hooking up with Brown to get the Steelers a first. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
To the sideline, wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. To throw again is Roethlisberger. And it's caught. It's Brown. Touchdown, Steelers. Antonio Brown, his third touchdown now on the year. And if the Steelers can convert the extra point, they will have the lead. That's why you've got your star out there. Throw the ball to him. They did.
That's simply saying we don't care what coverage you put out there. He's so good. We're going there with the football anyway, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Inside the red zone, they go to him. He gets it done. A very important extra point there, up and good. And they have taken the lead here in this fourth quarter. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Now it's Adam Humphries on the return. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And the interception that ended their previous drive, that might be one we look back on and say that was the turning point of this game.
Hey, partner, guess what? There's still time for a few more turning points in this ball game. They're only one score down.
Yeah, true. We could have some twists and turns. Stay tuned. Over the middle, he finds Godwin complete. And it's a fumble. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
And now out come the Steelers. Well, these guys hardly got a chance to catch their breath after the quick turnover, but I doubt they're complaining much.
Especially with the field position they get to start with. I wouldn't be complaining either. I want to get right back out there and get after them because now you have an opportunity to make a big play. I'd say let's be aggressive and go after him.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 12 yards that time and a Pittsburgh first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And they'll keep it on the ground with Bell. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Let's go now.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Throw left side complete. That's James. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And the Steelers on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 2. Roethlisberger will hand the counter. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on 3rd down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it. Stuffed him for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
So here we go. On now is the kicker, Chris Boswell. This from 36 yards out. And Boswell's kick is good. And that'll move their lead up to 4 now. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Here's Humphries. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over. And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Fitzpatrick again. Being chased out left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. T.J. Watt in there to drop him for a loss on the play.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Third and long, Fitzpatrick following the sack. What can he and the gang come up with? From the gun, Fitzpatrick. And he's going to go down again. Daniel McCullers in there again. My goodness, that is now his 4th sack tonight.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
Here's Brian Anger now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3 except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the 1st.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They've got to go thank the guys on D.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They run with Connor. And he'll get this up to about the 40. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. And the Steelers on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. JPP did it all those years with the Giants. New uniform, same result.
Yeah, he shows he still got it, doesn't he? Remember, he had 58.5 sacks during his time with the Giants. A great acquisition for Tampa Bay.
Here's Jordan Berry now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at about the 14. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
To throw, Fitzpatrick. Jackson's got it over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down. Fitzpatrick on first down. Flushed out right. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Second down, Fitzpatrick. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10, right at the 40. A first down throw for Fitzpatrick. A dump off to Lacy. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll make it second down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
63 yards receiving for him now, and that last catch good enough for a first down. First down, Fitzpatrick. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 28. And they will finally stop him as he's down to the 40-yard line. Agreed, that's twice now in this fourth quarter.
As a quarterback, a lot of times you think it's all on you to make plays when you're losing. And here, the play's not there, but he throws it anyway.
Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Here's Connor. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Off the play fake. Here's Roethlisberger. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here. On third down, it's Connor. Oh, and now he bowls him over. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. A great effort there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the interception by the Steeler D leads to a touchdown.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a two-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Boswell good with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And the last play, a really nice run that culminated in the touchdown. Boswell on now to kick this one away. Here's Humphreys. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Clock running, about to hit 90 seconds to go in the game. Fitzpatrick, and the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. From the shotgun, it's Fitzpatrick. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Desperation time. Fitzpatrick on 4th down. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Morgan Burnett. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offensive coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field. So play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more. But a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
It's Connor as they stay on the ground. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. Again, it's Connor. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. On third down, that's Connor. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to a 4th down.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. They can't do much at this point, partner. This one is going to go down in the loss column.
You don't make up for what has happened during the game in this sequence here. Maybe you hand it off and let someone run the ball if you so choose. But otherwise, just kneel down, call it a day, and try and prepare going forward.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Out to the flat for Lacey. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. It's a gain of 9 yards, and it'll be second and about a yard. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Or are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Get your notes laminated, because, you know, open-air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Steelers, it's back-to-back victories now after the Week 1 defeat as they move to 2-1. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears.